A very warm, juicy, sometimes quite dry welcome to the Vagina Festival. We have fabulous vulva enthusiasts, clitoris cravers, womb warriors and labia lovers viewing from all over the world. Please do drop a line in the chat to let us know where you're from so Emilie can say hello to a few of you.
Oh, we've got someone from the very exotic Leeds. We've got Manchester. I saw earlier in the chat we had someone from Switzerland. Oh, and Poland. We have really gone international.
That is absolutely amazing. Pinner, Edinburgh, Scotland, it's like popping off that chat. So I am Ellamae, one half of the Vagina Festival team. By day, I work as a manager in social housing, and by night, I'm talking about vaginas, sometimes by day, over on Vava Womb and Mind Over MRKH. And to kick off the vagina stories, I was actually born with the majority of mine missing. I have MRKH, which means my vagina is underdeveloped. I don't have a womb and have never had a period. And I found this out when I was 16 years old. As well as shaking up stigma and celebrating body honesty on Vava Womb, you'll occasionally find me hosting creative writing workshops, talking about my missing body parts online and promoting self-love in various corners of the internet. I realise that sounds a bit strange, but lots of different corners. We started this event because we know that the word vagina isn't always a comfortable one, and being born with most of mine missing, I know how this feels. Passing the Vag mic to the one and only labia lyricist and co-host, Emilie.
Hi, I'm Emilie, the other half of the Vag Festival team. By day, I work in customer service for an underwear brand, and by night, I am the Vag activist, My Hairy Vag and Me. I write brutally honest poetry about my mega heavy periods, my straggly pubes, and my purple labia in order to encourage people to experience their bodies in new ways. Talking of bodies, this night isn't just about the big V. We'll also be exploring stories about motherhood, resilience, gynecological experiences, sexual violence, and the menopause, just to name a few. So expect to laugh, clench your fists, and perhaps even shed a tear. Tonight will include glittering performances from renowned spoken word artists Hollie McNish and Miss Yankey, a vivacious lineup of open micers, special guests from BBC Radio's Naked podcast, plus a video showcasing body empowering art. Phew, what a show. But what is this all for? We're raising money for two incredible charities, which Ellamae will tell you more about.
Just watching the numbers, we're now at 306 attendees, so thank you so much, and it's going up as we speak. So that's right, by blessing us with your flaps and claps this evening and getting tickets for the Vagina Festival, we have raised like over £2,200 for two amazing charities that are really close to our hearts, and I'm sure really close to all of your hearts too. The Eve Appeal is the leading UK national charity funding research and raising awareness into the 5 gynecological cancers. Now, we actually have some prizes up for grabs this evening, which we didn't tell you before. So up first, this amazing Vag badge, courtesy of Vag badges, and we will pick a random winner and will be announced at the end of the event. So in the chat, can you name all 5 gynae cancers? And like we said, the winner will be randomly selected and announced at the end of the event.
Can you name all 5 gynae cancers? And you need to name all 5.
All 5, but in one section, otherwise your answers are going to be like all over the place. I can see putting individuals all over. And our second chosen charity this evening is the wonderful MRKH Connect, which was founded under the principle that no one with Mayer-Rokitansky-Kuster-Hauser syndrome, always a mouthful and I've got it myself, should ever feel alone. And now our second prize, another wonderful Vag badge, courtesy of Vag badges. In the chat, can you tell us how many people in the world have MRKH? Is it 1 in 500 or 1 in 5,000? There's a clue for you. A randomly selected winner will be announced later on, so thank you for taking part.
Now, we do have a few T's and C's to ensure that this celebration is full of love. A strong reminder that we will not accept any hate speech or disrespectful behaviour. It's simple, just promise to be lovely. This event will contain honest accounts of potentially sensitive and triggering subjects. Please know that you are not alone. And if you feel at all emotionally affected during the event, please look after yourself. We've just posted some useful resources in the chat if you do need any support. We have a very glamorous Vagina Festival administrator in attendance. If you have any questions about the event, drop them a message privately in the chat, please. Now, we'll be taking photos and short videos throughout. If you do not wish to feature in any of these, please turn off your camera now. At 7:15, we'll have a short 10-minute break, during which we'll be playing videos of artists promoting body positivity, and the night is due to come to an end at roughly 8:15. You will all be on mute throughout the show, so as each performer comes to the virtual stage, please, oh please, pour your adoration over them and share a generous whoop whoop in the chat when you hear a line that moves or resonates with you. A friendly note to say, the language we use during this festival surrounding our bodies may not be anatomically correct. This is a creative space. Now, first to the stage, we have my co-host Ellamae, MRKH warrior, badass creative, powerful activist, and clever word artist. She's going to kick off our event with something really important. Take it away, Ellamae.
Thank you, Emilie. So, the poem I was going to read about my vagina made me feel unsafe, vulnerable, and scared before. So I'll run through it quickly, as there's something we need to hear more. My body wasn't part of the curriculum, which only features the bodies of some and teaches me that my body would make me a mum. And now I've already told more than 400 people here tonight about the fact that my body isn't quite intact. I made my vagina myself through dilation. It took me a while to experience penetration, and a shout out to my clitoris, who made me realise penetration wasn't all that when it came to the real sensations. And I have never menstruated, and I will never be impregnated. And I know that I am more than enough, no less woman and more than a muff. I feel safe with you, all of you, and my truth, whilst at home in this space. So I'm skipping the next part of my vagina story because we need to talk about how none of us ever really feel safe. My story is unrelated, but this next part is what we can all agree makes us feel deflated. And we need to think about the fact that we feel unsafe walking alone and unsafe getting home, not forgetting those who feel unsafe behind closed doors. Hear us roar. So today, we think of Sarah Everard and the women who we lose to male violence. No more silence. We come together as one. Middle fingers in the air to the bad men, we are done. Middle fingers in the air to the bad men, we are done. Home safe. Are you home safe and sound? Texts circulate, but deep down you're in an anxious state. Heart pounds, sweaty palms, desperate to be the dance floor. The evening walk after work, avoiding the routes where the monsters lurk, wishing you weren't in the boots that you slayed in all day. Now they speak in a different way. The quick trip to the shops for garlic turns into panic. The lone wait at the bus stop, dreading your fate, too late to call a mate. Who's that man? Is he safe? Will he grab me? Will he kill me? Is my skirt too short? Can he see my skin? Is my top too thin? If he could see my skin, he'd see it crawling as I see him drooling. The confident act, stay intact, trick him, make him think you're getting off the bus now to see if he follows, nervous swallows. Call a pretend friend, I'm just up the road, I'll see you in 5, a desperate bid to stay alive. Walk, look back, keys ready, steady, run, run, run. Thank fuck, I'm home, but I'm the lucky one, some don't make it. Fuck this shit, fuck you, fuck men. Until you can give me the space in the street, any man I see in the dark is a killer shark. Good men, you've got to start talking, and still another woman disappears after walking. But let's not focus on a woman's fragility. This is about men in society taking accountability, and for the good men, we don't have pity. We come together as one, middle fingers in the air to the abusers, the killers, the murderers, the rapists, we are done. Middle fingers in the air to the bad men, we are done. Middle fingers in the air to the bad men, we are done. Thank you.
Ellamae, that was such a powerful message. We really appreciate you and your words. Thank you. Now, our very first special guests are Jenny Els and Kat Harborne from the multi-award-winning Naked podcast, aka BBC's most revealing podcast. Best friends and colleagues, Jenny and Kat strip off, yes, really, for candid conversations in the buff to challenge preconceptions and hang-ups when it comes to body image. 3 series in and still going strong, the Yorkshire duo will perform their self-penned Vagina song live for us tonight, and I am absolutely thrilled to have them. Please welcome Jenny Els and Kat Harborne to the stage. Woo! I love.
Woo!
Hello, we are delighted to be here tonight. I'm Jenny Els and this is Kat Harborne. Right, let me just click my fingers.
Yes, we are the Naked Podcast. As Jenny says, my name's Kat, she's Jenny. We really do get naked. We strip off with fearless guests who will reveal their innermost secrets. They talk about the things they are proud of their body for achieving. They tell us some things they've gone through that normally make them stronger. We've done 3 series. We've spoken to lots and lots of brilliant people. But the one thing we have noticed from when we started recording about 3 years ago, was that people with vaginas often didn't use the gynecological terms for their bits. So my maestro here has composed a song which we will perform for you now, and has to be said, we are podcasters. We are not born musicians.
Yeah, and I haven't performed live on a piano since I was about 12 years old, so be kind, okay?
This song is composed of all of the names people told us they call their bits. Maestro, take it away.
Okay. Ready? Okay. Tell us, give us your answer, do.
We want to know, what did you call your flu? There's no name we'd find too savage to describe your undercarriage. You ain't a goof if you called it a foof, or fandozy or fanny too.
Red tongue front,
Vulva or just a twat. Margaret for JJ, we're totally down with that. It could be a nude or a ninny, a tuppence or a mini. Vagina is fine, in fact it's sublime,
or even a Venus by flytrap. So
now we've started, we're on a bit of a binge. To
find the nouns that we
used to call your minge. What's that? I beg your pardon. Flower pot or lady garden. Be it popo or bits, they are legit. Though axe wounds a little bit cringe.
Okay, penny new.
Wizards, thieves, magic stuff. Mary Poppins, beat that we know it's tough. Privates is a go-to, as is a flange or a foo-foo.
Vaginosaurus is good as its clitoral hood. Pussy or muff will do too.
So tell us, we want to doff our caps to all the nouns we used to call our flaps. Down below, Twinkle or Gina, fried butterfly's really a dreamer. Oh, we're on the hunt from doofy to cunt,
so cooch and goose'll do too.
That's it, the end. We could go on and on. There's so many, our list is getting long. We don't want to be a bore, so we'll leave you with just 3 more.
Mary, Ellen and Gash and Hitler's moustache, and there endeth our vagina song.
Woo! So we are the Naked Podcast. You can download the podcast. We've got lots and lots of episodes to pick and choose from. Just search for, on your favourite podcast app, The Naked Podcast.
And we're on the socials as well, at The Naked Podcast. And of course, there was a huge list of names that you might call your bits. If we missed any out, if you are listening and thinking they didn't name ours, please get in touch. We want to hear from you. But thank you for having us, guys.
Thank you so much. You are wonderful. Absolutely fabulous. You made me smile throughout that song. There were some names that I'd never heard of, so kudos to you. That's coming from my hairy vag and me, so thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care. Bye. Now, next up, thank you so much, Naked Podcast. I can't stop smiling. Next up, we have Stacy Brown from Atlanta, Georgia. She was diagnosed with MRKH at the age of 25. MRKH is such a difficult thing to deal with, and poetry has allowed her to write her truth and for her to grieve with grace. She has realized that sharing her story and poetry is a form of advocacy. Stacy Brown, we're looking forward to hearing your piece.
Thank you. Alrighty, so I have two pieces. The first one is apologize. Sister, I apologize on behalf of those who, instead of saying, I don't know what to say, instead said God has a plan. As if that was supposed to instantly get rid of the pain you're feeling right now. Because it was God's plan for it to hurt this much. Because it was God's plan for you not to be able to give birth to your own. I apologize on behalf of those who made you feel as if your pain meant that you were ungrateful. Because you have this, and you can still do this, and who then proceed to give you a list of options. All you wanted them to say was, I don't understand, but I'm here for you. We appreciate those who say, I'm here for you. And you wanted them to justify all the pain and frustration that was festering inside. You wanted them to validate that you were still beautiful. You wanted them to validate the woman in you. And they knew that it could still trigger you, but they figured you had enough time to heal. As if your healing has to arrive at a specific time. As if you should be over it. I apologize on behalf of those who keep bringing kids up during Christmas. As if you already don't feel less than. As if the posts and pictures don't make you feel inadequate. I apologize on behalf of your family that didn't show up how you needed them to. I apologize on behalf of those who said something insensitive to you. I apologize on behalf of those who couldn't acknowledge the strength that it takes for you to carry your pain the way that you do. Sister, I apologize on behalf of infertility. The next piece is something that I wrote today. It's called Holding. My body was holding on to things I thought I had let go. I was holding shame in my shoulders. I was holding grief in my chest. My arms were holding insecurity and judgment, and my hands were holding on tightly to abandonment. I was holding fear in my stomach. What lied between my thighs was feeling of unworthiness, and all my legs wanted to do was run. My feet stood firmly on a flimsy foundation comprised of deprived self-love, and I needed to breathe. Inhaling and exhaling negative thoughts that had become habits. To realize that someone else's opinion of my body doesn't hold value. My body is also holding on to someone else's expectations. It's going to take resilience. It's going to take grace. I want my body to feel like home. I want my body to feel like a sacred space. Thank you.
Oh, Stacy, we value your story and your words, of course. Please let us know where we can follow you and support you.
So my Instagram is Stacy with an E, STACEY_N_the house.
Make sure you pop that in the chat. The Vagina Festival administrator will do that too. But, promote yourself. That's for all our wonderful open micers. Please promote yourselves. We're here for you. Thank you so much, Stacy.
Amazing.
Now, next up, we have Laura Jane Round, a writer and performance poet from the West Midlands in England. She has a BA in creative writing from Liverpool John Moores University, and you can find her in publications such as Lumpen Journal, the Beyond Queer Words Poetry Anthology, and Midlands-based This and That. Looking forward to your performance, Laura Jane. The stage is yours.
Hi everyone, hope everyone's having a good night. I am reading a prose piece, which I'm not usually, it's not usually my thing, but I thought, you know, this is about gender, my body, and the relation that I have to my own body. So this is called Debut. Debutantes shave their heads. That's what I learned when I came out, after GCSE-induced illnesses and a torrid love affair with an older girl who I really shouldn't have been hanging out with. All I knew as a tentative bisexual, at the time wishing to only like women, solely preferring their company, was that I felt alien in my own body. I wanted to thrash and hurt and wisecrack and wear gold chains like my dad. Felt the dresses hung strange on my tiny, tiny frame. I was so sure that this was it. This was the path to salvation. Cutting up my shirts and getting my come hither look in the mirror just right. The night this new alien me made their debut, I looked at the bald patches from the grade 1 with something approaching an awesome horror, a terrible wonder. I looked like the second son I was sure my parents had wanted, pale and sickly, metal in my ears shining in the cold bath of a harsh bathroom light. I started drinking cheap cider, spreading my legs in too tight suit trousers when I sat down, kept myself small and lethargic, so my face, hips, body wouldn't fill. Because what they don't tell you about bisexuality is the duality you feel, the stepping in and out of social circles. I was a daddy's girl and a Jack the lad, a quiet homebody and a threatening stand-in for my friends' boyfriends to keep their exes at bay. It was hard juggling all the personas that I pretended weren't personas. I sure like to think I made it work. Sexuality was performed like a choreographed dance in which I was always one step behind. There was a quota of lust and seduction to fill because women were not a phase, and damn it, I would prove that or die of embarrassment trying. Women are amazing. That was never up for debate. I wanted them to like me, but the only me I could see going forward was a caricature. I hold her dear. She was just a kid after all, with everything that comes with that. I thought I'd be stuck in that miasma of confusion, never finding my place. Every bisexual on TV say they don't believe in boxes, devil-may-care smirk and a drink in hand. Where was my box? God, how I wanted a box. Back when I was in my infancy, taking my first few steps towards what it meant to be human, let alone bisexual. Womanhood is hard to navigate, and there's no right way to do it. Like there's no right way to be a man, or genderless, or everything in between. What I didn't realise is that blooming, bombastic bisexuals shave their heads too, an undercut to shine a light on and hide away whenever I choose. My face is full, I wear what I want, when I want. Dresses don't hang awkwardly, they just hang how they're supposed to hang on the beautiful, endearing creature that I see in the mirror. And yeah, I can still rock a suit when the mood suits me. I love and communicate my love without choreography, which incidentally, as a dyspraxic, I was hopeless at anyway. And to the other bisexuals out there, to the sad and half-starved girl I look back on in the well of my memories, I see you. I see how hard you are trying, but every day is a new debut, and every day you can start again. And cool it with a hair gel. You look like Ross from Friends. Thank you.
Oh, Laura Jane, please make sure you check the comments because people were showering you with love throughout that. There was a line that really stuck with me that Cassie D actually mentioned too. Where is my box? God, how I wanted a box. That will stay with me. Now, Laura Jane, where can we support you and find you?
My Instagram handle is @LauraJaneRoundWriter, bit of a mouthful, and you can find me on clippings.me at LauraJaneRoundWriter, same. And I'm going to be featured at the Working Class Creatives Database exhibit, a short film I did, spoken word, and that's going to be on April the 9th. So thank you very much.
No, you're welcome. And make sure you all follow Wonderful, Laura Jane Round.
Thank you
Enjoy the
very
rest of the
much.
show. Bye-bye, Laura.
Bye-bye.
Who's next? Next, we have Laura Graham. Laura Graham is a comms professional and mum from Leeds who started writing poetry and comedy 2 years ago. She grew up with 4 brothers and has had to educate herself on all things vagina as an adult. I completely relate to that. She still sometimes mixes up vulvas and volvos. Laura, we're excited to hear what you have in store for us. With a bio like that, how can we not? Laura Graham, please. The stage is yours. Okay, there we go.
Hi, hello. I'm going to read you a perimenopausal love poem. And it's called I Love You, But. I love you, but will you please fuck off? It's not personal. Well, it is a bit. But I need to hibernate. I'm in a chrysalis state. Dinner might be late because doing things just doesn't feel that great. I love you, but will you please fuck off? I'm brooding like a teenage goth. I'm tired like a sleepless sloth. I'm fragile like a bulb-scorched moth. I love you, but will you please fuck off? For 18 years, I've gazed at your beautiful face, and now I just need space and time and silence. I love you, but the sound of you masticating makes me feel death would be liberating. It's a full system reset I'm operating. It's me 3.0 I'm creating. So please fuck off. I love you, but I need to fuck off. I need to go swimming with fleshy-thighed women whose estrogen levels are dimming in the crystalline waters of don't give a shit. I need to be with people who don't need me. I need to be. I love you. Did I already say fuck off? My brain's melting like a midsummer chocolate log. Words are evasive like a neighbour's lost dog. My mind is clouded with low-hanging water vapour, whatever that's called. I love you. We are bound together by shared memories, responsibilities, dependencies. The gesture of an artist chased down a Paris street. An impression of Real Housewives on Pica with Frank Sidebottom that no one else gets. Our son's first steps. You bring me tea in bed, clean up my gin-soaked vomit, find it hard to find the words, but quietly sort out the mortgage. Your heart is the metronome of mine. It might appear to your untrained eye that I'm mostly doing now, but I'm putting the emotional bins out. I'm doing free fast track therapy. I'm having a beautiful affair with me. So just top up my Yorkshire tea and then kindly, for now, please fuck off. Thank you.
Oh, Laura Graham, huge claps for me. And I know everyone was appreciating that too. Oh, that line, fragile like a bulb scorched moth. That won't leave me. Thank you so much. How can we support you, Laura Graham?
I'm on Instagram, Laura Graham 277.
Please make sure you type that in the chat. The badge administrator will do that nonetheless, but make sure you promote yourself too. Thanks again and see you later. And now for Sunita Thind. Sunita Thind is a British Punjabi poet, teacher and workshop facilitator who has published 2 multicultural poetry collections, The Barging Buddy and Other Poems with Black Pear Press, and The Coconut Girl with Wild Pressed Books. She was in the national media recently. Please sit up in your chair for Sunita Thind.
Thank you very much, thank you. My name is Sunita Thind. This book is The Coconut Girl, and my hair is growing back just after ovarian cancer recurrence. so I will get straight into this. Lust muscled of forefathers. The memory of muscles, something remains even when gone. Shame punished then, coming of age to touch what is living, bloody scratches, unnatural stains, jewel bright, cherry red, foaming waters gave way to constellations, rotten seeds, graveyard flowers, petal swarms near coffins. Distilled gems in sunlight waves, quivering for days, these bloodshot roots, unruly soil of soul, deathly drenched, fury imitating flames. Auditioned for angels, the exiled ones, frothed from immortal joy. Angel anger shimmered in my bones. I was desecrated by the lust muscle of my forefathers. The icy clink of glasses, the liquor swirl, necrosis of the same. Fire gored and blackened, this dull native girl is imbibed. The necessary evil, engine of the paedophile contemplating lethal happiness. In deathly mirrors, vice hits her thrice for the lust muscled of her forefathers. So that was that one, and I'm just going to do one more, and it's called Slapped for Wearing Slut Paint. Referred to as a slapper, this caramel canvas was blank, humble in form, ingrained westernism on my face, war paint, face paint, slut paint, brush strokes of MAC, a symphony of antidepressants exits the body. I stippled my face with a gore fest of glitter, contouring face faking, slapping mechanisms to revive my face, garnet, red blush. False-faced whore, says Mama, jewel bindies, sequined henna, golden tattoos, eyelash extensions, lip fillers are maybe a bit too far, face jewels, dripping with eye, sparkle pigments, blackberry lips stuffed down the bralette, the metallic blue liner is binned. A good Punjabi daughter doesn't wear slut paint. It's a lie on your face. Virgin pale, please be, clean and unblemished is the way forward, my brown mama says. Nanny Ma points at the grotesque glitter eyeshadow. The sparkling pots are smashed. Rose-coloured blushes are exploding in a powder storm. Candy floss lips, gloss streak my face shamefully. Lip black as soils my mouth. Smeared of the pout before home time, pronounced the whorish style. Mama was my Eastern Gestapo captain. Tempers detonated on ceremonial occasions. I was allowed to adorn my eyes with Garjal eyeliner and wear a jewel bindi, a tika, Raj Mukri for the day, queen. Once I had secured an arranged marriage, I would be able to adorn my face in carmine red, Lancome lipstick to contemplate this ochre complexion, betrothed to Punjab, marriage to a Siddhe Sadhe Apana, a good boy, a good Punjabi boy from an honourable, prosperous family with the right caste and the pale face. The slaps ricocheted off me, familial, spousal alike. Don't set them off with your disco mini skirt, smarting. Their dicks will go after you. The Gaudair, the white boys, they want what they can't have. Smarting this dead weight daughter-in-law. Had my face been scandalised by unchaste friends? My mother asked. Their loose white girl morals, misfortune and lack of culture. I had the glow of familial murder in my eyes. No more clandestine trysts and pleasurable copulating or see-through tops or cheap vodka, blue eyeliner, razzle-dazzle miniskirts. No fumbles with Danny, the good-looking Gorda in my class, with the lustrous grey eyes and dirty blonde hair. If I got pregnant, it would have been aborted from my teen body straight away. The dishonour was too much. Disowned as this slut would be, packed off to some backwater in India, Malaysia, emotionally stoned for being the mucky girl, truanting, secretly smoking, masturbating with profanity, daddy's backbone dipped in booze, my mother's divine vintage face flashes with fury. She dips into her lace venom handbag. Entourage of cracked bodies follow her. Like stardust in orbit, they denounce my whisperings, choreographing hate, the Punjabi propaganda. So that was from The Coconut Girl, which you can follow me at Sunita Thind. It's all one word on Instagram, and that book's available from wildpressbooks.com. Thank you so much. And this one is called The Barging Buddhi and Other Poems by Sunita Thind. It's got poems on ovarian cancer and other things, and I'll write stuff in the box. But I just want to say thank you so much. Power to the people.
Power to the people. Sunita Thind, that was gorgeous. I'm completely lost in your vivid world of imagery, completely. And please take time to read all the positive comments that people have written throughout your pieces. That was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now we have Rosemary Samsara, a performing artist and poet born somewhere in the Eastern Himalayas. How majestic is that? She is a tribal-blooded, free-spirited, hand-me-down and nature-loving minimalist global citizen. And so lovely to speak to by email. I'm aware her mum's watching too, which is just gorgeous. Please come to the stage and share your poem with us, Rosemary.
Most vaginas don't have opinions. That is what I am told. They have a slave-like status. And when the master knocks, bang, 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 the door opens automatically to let them in. I was also told most of these masters don't even knock. They simply enter. And when the vaginas resist, they use violence against such rebellious vaginas. For me, I have empowered my vagina. And now she's perfectly aware of her needs. I call her VCV. 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 Do you know what that means? A very Californian vagina. Sunny, sunny, sunny. No, a very confused vagina. Oh no. A very confident vagina. Yes, a very confident vagina. A very confident vagina. My VCV has her moods. Bad moods are when she bleeds. And she does not want to let anyone come inside. No. So she shuts her door and hangs a sign in German, außer Betrieb. In English, out of service. And there is no discussion, no negotiation whatsoever. Period. Thank you.
Rosemary, you stirred something deep within me. Your presence is otherworldly. I really appreciate you. Now, where can we support your artistry? Tell us.
I have a debut poetry book, Memoriographia. The book is available currently only in India, but we are working on working in Kindle to come up with one ebook, and also my publisher is trying to reach out to readers around the globe. So yeah, stay in touch with me in Instagram. Thank you.
Fabulous. We definitely want to access it. So make sure that happens soon. Thank you, Rosemary. Oh, I've got tingles down my spine. Now, Carrie Baker. Carrie Baker is an emerging performer and writer whose work has evolved from the trauma of living through vaginal mesh surgery over the last 4 years. Carrie has used the structure of Still I Rise by Maya Angelou and is grateful for her phenomenal womanhood. Her poem, We Will Rise, is written for all mesh injured women. Their continued fight for justice, clear surgical consent, and financial compensation for lives which have been devastated. Carrie Baker, please share your story with us.
Oh, fuck, sorry. Oh, good.
Okay, I think I'm here now. You may write us down in history, washed over with avoidant eyes. You may hide behind brief acknowledgements, but still, like truths, will rise. Does our female power upset you? Are you surprised by our vulvic connection? Because we talk about our vaginal walls and how the mesh cuts through them. Just like the moon cycles and periods with the certainty of hormonal tides, just like the hope fueling our rages, still will rise. Did you want to see us slip away broken, blaming menopause, prolapse, and other distracting lies, concealing stories under dissertations of prescriptions weakened by your misogynistic entitled sighs? Does our mesh sisterhood concern you? Whilst our bodies have been hit awful hard, we weave webs in communal strength, spinning female fabric in global yoni yards. You may have distracted us with complex medical words. You may have cut us with gaslighting lines. You may have killed some sisters in oversight of your oaths, but still, like air, will rise. Do our fierce vaginal monologues upset you? Does it come as a surprise that we shout from wheelchairs, sticks, and sofa with justice screaming from our thighs? Out of the theatres of surgical shame, we will rise. Up from our pasts rooted in pain, we will rise. We're a bloody ocean, battered and wide, welling in swelling in number. We are the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, we will rise. Into futures where surgical consent is clear, we will rise. Upholding the stories our mesh sisters gave, protecting sexual agency, not patriarchal slaves. We will rise. We will rise. We will rise. Thank you.
Oh, Carrie, I feel almost speechless. That is an essential story, and too often is women's health poorly managed and can lead to such devastating consequences. So I appreciate you for shedding a light on your personal experience in such a beautiful way. Now, where can we support you and find you?
Thank you. I am at Kerry Baker Words. That's Kerry, the Welsh spelling, C-E-R-I. I'll put it in the chat. I'm fairly new to all of this, and I have just launched a little shop where you can buy some little contemplative, compassionate cunts, they're called.
I love that. And Kerry, can you show us your beautiful fascinator? Because I'm not sure everyone in the audience could see.
It's a vaginator. Made by a friend, Justin Featon, and it is, yeah, thank you very much. Thanks, it's an amazing event. Awesome.
No, thank you, Kerry, thank you.
Thank you.
So that was our first half of Open Micers. Next up, and I can't contain my excitement, is our first feature act. When I saw her perform, I fell deeply in love with her words. Miss Yankey is a British Ghanaian international spoken word artist, published poet, host, workshop facilitator, and public speaker. But she doesn't stop there. This powerhouse of a woman is a fierce activist, women's rights advocate, and co-founder of platforms Safe Spoken and Words of Women. She has performed on stages from London to New York and as far as Melbourne, racking up four slam titles along the way. Miss Yankey uses her poetry as a platform to express herself and to give voice to marginalized voices. Combining her passion for poetry, holistic therapy, and mental health awareness, Miss Yankey founded Poetry Prescribed, which aims to improve young people's mental health through poetry and creative writing. She has released her debut EP, Shadow Work in the Waters, which is available to buy now on iTunes and Amazon Music, so make sure you do that. But just before Miss Yankey shares her pieces, she wanted to let you know that she will cover various topics that may be triggering for you, including FGM, rape, sexual assault, and violence against women. Now, please grace us with your words, Miss Yankey.
Hello, good evening. I hope all of you can hear me. Thank you to the Vagina Festival for having me. I'm really, really excited to be here. I know we've had trigger warnings already, but before I get into my set, I just want to let you know that I am going to be covering some pretty heavy stuff. There's themes of sexual violence, mental health, rape, and a lot of profanity. So if you don't appreciate bad language, then you may want to turn off. I'm going to start with a new poem. I finished writing it a couple of hours ago. It's called I'm PC. I hope you like it. Pussy. Cunt. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I make you uncomfortable? Funny how words that translate to that which we are here to celebrate today can still cause so much shock, outrage, and shame. Shame you aren't more outraged by the hashtag say her name. Shame you aren't more concerned about the missing black women they erased. Shame you aren't more shocked at the women laid slain. We live in an age in that which lays between my legs has been labelled and taken, reframed as an insult, a dirty word to curse with. But if pussy is power, then let me wrap my tongue around this cursive. Cunt comes from kunda or cunty, the great yoni, kunto, source of life, canis, canina. Once upon a time, cunt was a sacred word, and for me, it still is. So I reserve such powerful affirmations for deserving people, not these patriarchal poison punks who know nothing about a pussy or a cunt. I'm comfortable talking in profanity. So read my perfectly patterned asymmetrical lips. If you tell me not all men today, I will sink your ship. I'm tired of being flooded with gas that's lit with the flames of misogyny. The world is obsessed with sex, and as a mother with 2 daughters, it more than bothers me. Statistically, 1 in 3 teenage girls will experience sexual violence, and you want me to stay silent. I'm scrolling timelines where women are reduced to filters, prizes, games, prey, and bets. Cause and effect. The effect of a trauma can wreck relations, break cycles so toxic, I swear sometimes I look at life and wonder if anyone else has stopped and clocked it. Harmful lies are normalized, hidden, and denied. Too many women have died after being violated. Too many women have been cut. Too many women have been raped. Too many women have spilled blood. Too many women face hate. Too many women get beat. Too many women have vanished simply walking down the street. Rest in peace. I give thanks that I am here today to speak. I give thanks that until now I have never had to use my keys. I pray for justice for every single woman who has died at the hands of the police. Control, alter the news, then delete. Black women remain obsolete, and I keep writing these poems, hoping to reach the minds of open hearts. Actions speak louder, but words are a start. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys. I'd like to say a massive shout out to Kingship Studios for allowing me to perform my set live and direct from my studio session. I can see all the comments there. Thank you very much. I'm going to share 2 more pieces with you. The next piece that I'm going to share is a little more light-hearted, only because I'm ending on such a heavy note and the poems are quite impactful. So I wanted to give you something that introduces you to the power of my pen. So for any writers or any creatives that are in the room, I would strongly recommend writing a poem, an ode to your pen. So on those days where you're perhaps doubting its ability or doubting your ability as a writer, you can read back through it and remind yourself why you write. So this is called Affirmations for My Pen. A writer's pen is a weapon. It should never be formed against oneself, but trust me, it shall. Used well, it is a well of wealth filled with water from the purest source. A force. My pen is law, a stream of raw truth and self-expression. My pen gives me lessons. My pen is a teacher whose words I sometimes only deep in hindsight. Reading back through past rhymes, I travel time and push past lives aside, jumping into my future. My pen is benevolent. My pen could never be broken. My vibranium quills are dipped in immortal ink that spills truth so real that if you're lying to yourself, you will get caught in feels. My pen always keeps it real. My pen is a wand so strong that only the gifted could wield its power into such carefully crafted lines. I scribe magical rhymes sublime. I beam channels of light into minds. My pen is not always kind, but it always respects me. My pen is a king with an amethyst crown. Together we travel within and without. My pen has never let me down. My pen is a healer. Given a blank page, it finds a safe space to channel rage and express pain, to explore time and space, love, inner knowing and faith. A blank page is a place of no shame, somewhere you can go to process emotion in silence, a place where you can meditate, say what you have to say without having to defend or explain. Not everything is for the stage. Some stays between you, your pen and those pages. My pen spills spells on sheets. My pen eats metaphors and similes for breakfast, lunch and dinner. My pen is always hungry. My pen loves what I deliver. If my ink is a drug, then I guess my pen is a dealer. My pen draws cards that win me chips. My ink is rich. I flip that, double it, split that, treble it. Damn, that's a lot of chips. My pen is the shit. My pen is a killer. My pen is a reaper. My pen slays heathens and demons. My pen is my keeper. Together we ride through the elements. My pen can handle any enemy in any season. My pen knows the trenches and the tenements. My pen is a sword by which I live and die. My pen is my honor. My pen is my rhyme. My pen is my reason. My pen is the keeper of untold secrets. When you deep it, my pen streams a synchronized sequence of memories and thoughts. My pen is 1111, 22, 33, and 444. My pen is a master, a sensei, a samurai, a mentor. My pen is never less. My pen always gives me more. My pen is loyal and consistent. It never keeps me waiting or second guessing. When I give my pen my time, it always showers me with blessings. My pen connects me to myself in my purest form. My pen never settles. My pen does not conform. My pen weathers storms, fireproof in the ashes. My pen is a phoenix. My pen is reborn. My pen is mighty. My pen is resilient. My pen is magnificent. My pen is reborn. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Now, before I get to the last piece, actually, I need to do some plugs. There's a lot for me to plug. There's an EP out, there's an EP coming, there's features coming. The best thing to do is just get at me at Miss Yankey and you can find everything. But the two things that are really important for me to talk about today are two projects called Safe Spoken and Words of Women, which are platforms that I've founded to push the words of women and to push spoken word from female voices to the forefront, but also to provide a safe space for women poets, for non-binary and other marginalized genders to be able to go to report historical or current cases of abuse, which I think is really important. So do take time to go and check out Safe Spoken and Words of Women. I'm not going to talk anymore after this piece. I'm just going to leave you with this piece and go back to my session. But this is the piece that made me decide to set up Safe Spoken, and it's called In Plain Sight. Again, I just want to give another trigger warning before we get into this one, if I can find it, because it does contain strong themes of rape, sexual abuse and violence. Okay. Plain sight. 5 women I know disclosed abuse to me this week. 5. Abuses of different kinds, all of which weigh heavy on my mind. Emotional abuse, covert narcissism, familial abuse, financial abuse, harassment, domestic violence, sexual assault, and rape. Taken advantage of whilst intoxicated, then blamed, whilst the ones who inflict this pain walk amongst us with no shame, hidden in plain sight. Actors playing the roles of their lies, they weave words like they weave lies, not batting an eye, stay woke and apparently remain disguised. I'm calling out any man who turns a blind eye to guys who derive pleasure without consent and blatantly lie. See, legally, someone is too drunk to consent if they are incapacitated, and nothing you can say will change it. Wait. Shh. It's okay. Now, why don't you stay silent while my words overtake your entire being? You can't even hack the feeling that you're feeling whilst I'm reading what I'm reading. I swear I mean it with my heart when I say fuck your feelings. I keep seeing demons on my timeline disguised as divine masculines, community champions, apparently balancing, but every time I see the face of a perp, I am unnerved, thrown off balance, faced with the challenge of a trigger. Imagine scrolling to see the smiling face of the so-called man who tried to kill your sister. They are never held accountable. They abuse us, let time pass and pass their abuse off as a thing of the past, assholes, lying on themselves, scared to be exposed, smearing the names of their victims in the hope that nobody will ever know the truth. And should they be faced with evidence and stopped right in their tracks, they will make a statement, apologize and say they wish they could take it back. And others will back them with straight forgiveness and no challenge. It's just what happens. To his lies, they will listen. They won't question his version, and if they do, he will immediately become the victim. Poor him. Every man deserves a second chance. It's not his fault. He's had it tough. It was the drink. It was the drugs. He's traumatized. Let's lift him up. Pray for him. Act like there's nothing else to say to him. No weighing in, no questioning, no blaming him, no shaming him. Hell, if you can avoid it, then no naming him. No statements given. He could be out here raping women, but he's a good guy, so all's forgiven. Victims never forget, no matter how hard they try. Flashbacks are a hell that you will only understand if you have been a walking nightmare on repeat. A woman said goodnight and went to sleep in peace, but you disturbed her spirit and a woman said goodnight and went to sleep, but you disturbed her spirit and her peace, you piece of shit. The law may never catch you, Mr. Catch Me If You Can, but karma, it will catch you. Then maybe you will understand. You can't just take. If a woman does not consent, but you still fuck her, then that's called rape. Still the truth you cannot face. So you lie and deny. I guess audacity really is at an all-time high. It's like these guys are faking an honest life to a dishonest world. What am I supposed to tell my girls? That even though here in the UK a woman is killed every 3 days, we must be careful what we say about men. I can barely count the number of friends who have not suffered violence at the hands of men, but no. We must not question them because not all men. False claims do happen. And if you really want, we can debate it, but they are extremely rare, making up roughly 3% of UK rape cases, and even those numbers are widely considered to be inflated. I don't hate men. I hate abusers, murderers, and rapists. There's a difference. That's a fact. In fact, let's talk facts. 1 in 3 women suffer domestic abuse, and 85,000 women a year experience rape, sexual assault, and it's not their fault. Only 15% of rape victims report their crime. And less than 5% of their attackers are convicted and serve time, yet time and time again, we are shut down when we try to speak on these crimes. The numbers don't lie, so answer me this. If there are so many, many victims, where the fuck are all these men? And why the fuck should I stay quiet? And why the fuck should I pretend? How can you even ask me not to stop and question them? Brothers, I implore you, if facts are red, then check your friends. And whilst you're at it, check yourselves, especially if you legitimately care about the safety of women and girls. I'm calling out every man who stayed quiet when their friend should have been cussed out, questioned, and exposed. I'm calling out those who use boy code and the law of road to not speak up about brothers who are killing, raping and perpetrating violence against our sisters. I'm calling you all out. And I dare you to question my stance. I dare you to question these stats. I dare you to question these women. I dare you to question these facts. You can no longer rely on womankind to stay silent. We are healing. We are fighting. And together, we are rising. Thank you very much, everybody. I've been Miss Yankey. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
We needed to hear that, didn't we? We really needed to hear that. I appreciate that for some of you that might have felt quite difficult. So please take a moment if you need to, and reach out to one of us if you want to chat, of course. I'm so deeply stirred by that, especially the fact that 1 in 3 women suffer domestic violence. And the line, it's not their fault. It's not their fault. Right, so what a first half we've had. Next up, we have a break, during which we will be playing a short video with our fanny-tabulous artists. The break will last for about 10 minutes. We'll see you after the break for our delicious round 2. We'll make sure we put Miss Yankey's socials in so you can follow her. We really appreciate you, and we'll see you again in 10 minutes.
Hi, my name's Emilie and I run Femagami, which are a range of feminist origami workshops that I've set up to help women embrace their body through the art of paper folding. So in my workshops, we make a range of unconventional paper creations, including the origami vulva. So if you want to find out about our upcoming workshops, you can check us out at femagami.com.
Hi, my name's Nikki and I'm the artist behind Utopian Fallopian. I make soft sculpture vulva art like this, using fabric and a mixture of other fibre techniques such as embroidery, applique and more. Each piece is completely unique and I donate 10% of the proceeds to an anti-FGM charity. I make this artwork to celebrate an area of the body that's often shrouded in shame and misinformation. You can find me on Instagram at Utopian Fallopian or on the internet at utopianfallopian.com. Come and say hi.
I'm a Busy Bullet Jewelry and we're here to celebrate one thing: vaginas. I make vagina jewelry, mainly sovereign rings, but also pendants for people that prefer a lighter jewelry brand. My rings are made of recycled sterling silver. They're pretty chunky statement pieces. And you can purchase them all on my website, and 10% of all my sales go to fighting female genital mutilation in Africa mainly, because that's where I'm from. Close to my heart, and yeah, enjoy.
Hi, my name's Hannah. I'm an artist. I usually paint, but I also produce digital artwork. The main inspiration behind my artwork is women. I think that women are truly beautiful. And I often say my paintbrush is addicted to the curves that only the female body possesses. So it's my goal to continuously showcase the beauty, the fragility and the strength of women. You can find me on Instagram at I'm Sorry Miss Jackson, or you can go straight to my website, which is I'mSorryMissJackson.com.
Hi, I'm Amy. I'm an artist. I mainly paint nudes. Through my work, I want to promote self-love and body positivity. It took me quite a few years until I'm in my 30s to start feeling comfortable and confident with myself. And I really want to share that and help people feel confident in themselves. So I'll show you some work. This is of my friend April. So yeah, I think the experience of being nude, taking some selfies, and that whole experience can be quite fun and exciting and a good step to enjoying being with yourself. Some recent work I did for a friend who's a gynecologist. is this. It's all about self-examination, feeling comfortable and confident with checking yourself. And then the last one I'll show you is of a good friend of mine, Ellie. She got diagnosed with breast cancer last year, so we've decided to create a body positivity breast cancer book with lots of information and lots of photographs of people who want to take part. Thanks.
Hi there everyone, my name's Nem from Vag Badges. I am a jewellery company that is inspired by women being proud of their vulvas. I make statement badges, big ones like this. They come in smaller sizes and really dinky little ones. They're all hand painted by me onto wood, and I sell earrings as well. I've just released a new range of acrylic ones, and you can find me on Instagram, Facebook and Etsy, all under the name Vag Badges. I represent all skin types, all sizes, hairy, not hairy, everything. So if you have a request, just get in touch with me. Thank you, nice to meet you all.
Hi, my name is Phoebe and I'm the creator of Viva La Vulva Casting. Viva La Vulva Casting is a project that I set up to tackle the rising rates of labiaplasty by normalising the female anatomy. I kind of try and fight stigma and showcase beautiful variations in vulvas through the medium of body casting. So I host workshops, and women and vulva owners can create and immortalise their body into pieces of art, which I then display on the page to show how beautiful the vulva is and how normal all these different variations are. So yeah, Viva La Vulva.
Hey everyone, I'm Crystal and I'm an internationally recognized feminist fiber artist. I started Not Your Nose yarn work about 4 years ago. It was actually right around the time that Donald Trump got elected, and the Women's March was happening, the Pussy Hat movement was in full swing, and I was making crochet vulva Christmas ornaments. I think that a lot of people probably stumbled across my Etsy shop searching for pussy hats, and my business just kind of took off. I've always wanted my art to start conversations about body positivity, sex positivity, sex education, and inclusion. My art is very much part of who I am, and vulva art in particular is what started my business, and I think for that reason it's just always going to have this sort of sentimental value.
Let me introduce you to pussy pots. Ceramic bowls with vulva in them. Each one is different, just like our bodies. They exist to represent the glorious diversity of pussy and reduce the shame surrounding female sexuality and anatomy. Find one that speaks to you, or commission one with your own vulva. My name is Meredith. I think it's time we get this on the table.
A big welcome back from the break. I've just disclosed to everyone that I like alcohol and I'm on wine, then beer, but I'm absolutely fine. Thank you so much to all the amazing artists. Everyone was saying that the ad break was amazing, and I think actually they're a really huge part of this. So do follow them, check out the list that the Vagina Festival admin has put in the chat. And now on to the second half of the Vagina Festival. I've had time to like settle now, and the first half was absolutely brilliant, and now I'll be your host for round 2, and my name is Ellamae. So a big warm welcome to my fellow co-host, who has been a pleasure to plan a Vagina Festival with, the one and only labia lyricist, aka Queen Laqueef, aka Emilie, and most commonly known as My Hairy Vag, and me.
Part 1, periods. When your tampon is so full, it comes out with such speed. You tug the thread, your hand drenched red, and then you have a pee. Can anyone else relate to that experience? I feel like that happens to me every single period. Not all women menstruate. Those that do aren't all women. Let's talk about this freely and honor all people in this world that we live in. Now, this one really gets my goat. People are obsessed with gore on TV, Game of Thrones. They love murder and bloody sport, but as soon as you leak on an underground seat, you get treated like Voldemort. Once again, can anyone else relate to that? I've experienced that again and again and again, so much menstrual shaming. And although I am a feminist activist, I still feel like this. I want to be a badass bitch. Wave a jumbo tampon above my head, but then I get a nervous twitch and hide it up my sleeve instead. Part 2, sex. I want to debunk a myth here. Penetrative sex doesn't stretch your muff, no matter how big the weenie. Miraculously, it returns to size. It's more magical than Houdini. And the next one is an inappropriately Disney-themed one. The genie's magic carpet can make Aladdin damp. A whole new world for me and a good rub for the lamp. This next poem has been inspired by a popular song you might know. Dry ass pussies exist too. Let's put that in a rap. Not all fannies gush on cue. It's not a water tap. Part 3, pubes. Why is a man's stubble hot when my pubic stubble's not? My puss looks like George Clooney's face, an image of sophistication and grace. Now, this next one is my mom's favorite poem. I'll leave you to guess why. A long pube is stuck to your sanny pad wing. Gonna hurt like fuck when you rip off that thing. Oof. Did anyone else wince when they recalled when that happened to them? I definitely did. Yeah, I can see someone that said, yeah, it hurts. Absolutely, it hurts. An important message for this poem. Feminists, you make your choice on how you style your hair. You can be a bushy tree or bald as a monk down there. Next up, I've got a bit of a conundrum that I need to share with you. A pube gets wedged in my lover's teeth, but should I let them know? I think it's fine, it's good protein, so the fur ball stays on show. Part 4, labia. Trousers without undies, labia chafage is for real. You walk with legs akimbo, you've got that John Wayne feel. Now riddle me this. Why should people care if my labia don't match? They're charmingly lopsided. I love my asymmetric snatch. Part 5, miscellaneous. Now, Hollie McNish actually inspired this poem, so hats off to Hollie McNish. Dearest vaginal washes, we're not designed to smell like a peach. You exist to humiliate us. My aroma believes in free speech. Now, I'd love to know what your vagina smells like. If you feel comfortable, let me know in the chat. If not, totally fine. Mine smells like day-old Dominoes. There you go, now you know that about me. And here's, ooh, umami, someone says. Ooh, umami, I love that. Here's some more food for thought. Imagine if your vagine tasted like a Moroccan tagine. And of course this. Zoom meetings galore. Commando, the new norm. Upstairs, I keep it business. Downstairs, it's more soft porn. And we're coming to the end of my set. Thank you so much for listening and also for sharing your vagina smells. I'm loving reading these. Absolutely fabulous. Mine smells of happiness. How wonderful. This is my final poem. I do hope one fine day I can honestly say that I love my vajay as much as Kanye loves Kanye.
Emilie, you are more magical than Houdini. That's all I can say. The last line is always my favourite, and I saw Emilie on Instagram before we met on the Vulva Festival, and yeah, that one just makes me feel really happy. So thank you so much for your brilliant set. You've also, even though you're the co-host, you need to be checking out this chat because it's popping off for you. So up next, we have the wonderfully talented Mariam. So Mariam is a North London-based poet and spoken word artist. Her poetry adopts the use of metaphors and vivid imagery to break down social norms, criticise inequality, and promote spiritual healing. She first performed spoken word last year and since then has headlined Poetical Word, performed at open mics and has been published by several organisations. So, welcome to the stage, Mariam.
Thank you. This poem is called Women. Women bend their backs, anger their ankles to angle herself as an angel, for others to say she's not standing straight. Her posture conflates, backing her back into another, bending over, then shrinking her presence to feel a little bit more human, 'cause don't you like the arch in her back? Don't you catch her chest in your eyes before, don't you catch her chest in your eyes before you see her heart thumping to escape this moment of intrusion, invasion, but wait. How does she validate her presence? By presenting her desired figure to gain a desirable equal figure to a man's back pocket. If things were straightforward, then maybe she'd straighten her backwards to a time where all women couldn't vote, where some still can't vote, as most of us bear the image of bearing children until she bears all that. Marriage isn't everything a woman aspires to, that our minds are intellectually wide above our cries at that time of the month. Yet you look at us with pure disgust at a bit of blood, call us the drama queens. Well, maybe we'd straighten up if we didn't feel the male gaze devour us, if we didn't feel undermined by the belittling that makes us feel so little, if we didn't have to think twice about our posture to make us feel like imposters. See, she will always be a sweeping dichotomy that interweaves between an angelic requiem and a devil re-sleeved. She's seen before she speaks her mind. Would you listen if she's not attractive to your eye? Or would you listen if she's too attractive to your eye? See, the point that points its sharp knife in your direction is that you only listen when you cannot see her. For everything she dwells upon with a reflective intelligence is only refracted when the light does not shine upon her but within her. Society's sewn the strings of sexuality in the very crux of her heart. She's alive, but she finds, she walks, she drags, she's only alive to be judged a highly sexualized being. Western or not, covered or not, women wear the burdens of honor, innocence, and virtue on their skin, and she cannot change out of it unless society gives her new clothes. Thank you.
And I'm the only one clapping, but I'm not the only one clapping in real life. The line that shot for me was shrinking her presence to feel more human, absolutely beautiful. And the male gaze, we need to bring on the female gaze and the self gaze. So that's absolutely beautiful. Where can people find you and support you, Mariam?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram. So my poetry, it's called Mariam SC Poetry. But yeah.
Thank you so much. And Vagina Admin will, of course, put Mariam's Instagram in the chat, so do come and follow and support her future work. Yeah, so thank you so much, Mariam. That was absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Up next, we have the amazing Katie. Katie is a queer, nature-loving, sun-craving hippie who started writing poetry instead of the endless unsent letters that helped keep her sane in her younger years. Her poems have been described as playful, dark, and uncomfortable. The best feedback she ever received following a performance was, "I wanted to leave, I'm glad that I didn't." Katie, I'm sure that none of us will want to leave, and welcome to the stage.
Hi, thank you. Okay. So I've got a vagina. Well, I've got a dick too, but I keep that out of view. That's attached with straps and I keep it at home. It's not a product of my second X chromosome. But why am I telling you this? You've probably already assumed my gender and maybe think that's okay. Just a box to be put in from day to day. But that starts at birth. From the moment we enter this earth, we're dressed in clothes so that everyone knows what's between our legs. Like, is that not weird? He's a boy, he can't wear pink. What the hell will people think? Don't mess with convention, he'll get the wrong kind of attention. He doesn't need to play with dolls anyway. It's not like one day maybe he'll want to hold his own baby. But that continues at school. Playground fads determined by our gonads. Sugar and spice and all things nice, or slugs, snails and puppy dogs' tails. We grow up being told what we're made of. We have our abilities defined before we're old enough to realise our own minds. We're told to fit a mould. Girls taught sewing and baking, homemakers in the making. I mean, my cooking's supreme and I can sew up your jeans, but I liked woodwork. My teacher was a jerk. He'd call me hot lips while ogling my pubescent tits, not to mention I wasn't the only girl to get that kind of attention. The attitude's endemic. And is that any surprise when men like that are teaching young guys? So I wonder why, when choosing careers, so few girls end up being engineers. As adults, it's not much better. Pay gaps, ass slaps, cat calls, wolf whistles, and don't get me started on the issues with women's nipples. Men don't cry. You're struggling, need some help. Don't. You're a guy, just bye. Even when life cuts you deep, don't. Don't be a girl. Although that statement's misleading because even girls get shamed for bleeding. I'm so sick of the gender divide. It's worldwide bona fide bullshit. Like, I am bored of roles assigned by number of holes. I want to be me. not what society tells me to be. I want to exist, regardless of if I stand up to piss. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Katie. I love that you said you've probably assumed my gender, and I totally get what you mean. So like, fuck people being interested in between what's between our legs, fuck the pay gaps, and fuck the arse slaps. That's all I can say in return to your poems. That was absolutely brilliant. Thank you for bringing the important topic of gender to our table, to our virtual table, and let the audience know where they can find you and support you.
Just on Instagram. So it's Katie Louise. It's spelled K, the number 8, E, Louise with a Z.
Thank you so much, Katie. And like we said before, admin's going to chuck it in the chat as well for everyone to see. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So next up, we have Ella Dorman-Geitch, who is a playwright, poet and performer. She runs the Sellout Poetry Night Off the Chest, and she's currently part of Apples and Snakes writing room. Her writing has been described as impassioned by The Guardian, and I can't wait to hear her tonight. So yeah, take it away, Ella.
Hello, thank you for having me, and thank you Emilie and Ellamae for organising this amazing evening. It's been so much fun. So this poem I'm going to do is titled Locating Everest, and it's part of a collection I'm writing, all inspired by things that have happened in beds. So yeah, the sort of subtitle is Beds. And it goes like this. 17. It arrives at my front door. Tell mum it's makeup, peg it upstairs. In bed, I peel open the package like a bandage. It's smaller than expected. I hold it up to the light, an explorer examining a rare jewel. It zaps when I push it. But where do I put it? No instruction booklet. I lie it down, edge closer, slide it inside. Surely that's right. Nothing. Move it in and out, aim for the unknown. Pleasure is a clouded mountain. I am at the base, blind. Fuck it. Rub it, shin to chin. Turn my body into testing ground until rocks grip, until clouds float under thighs, until I rise. It only takes a single point for a blaze to ignite, for it to strike each inch of body, fuller than I have ever been. I let buzz replace time, then lie, shame devouring chest. When my boyfriend texts, "You coming round mine yet?" Thank you. And a little cheeky plug, sorry. So my poetry night that I run, titled Off the Chest, is happening this month on the 29th of March, and we're doing an open mic on Zoom, and more information will be on our Instagram. That's at _chest. Thank you guys so much for listening to that poem, and well done to everyone else who's performed tonight.
Thank you so much, Ella. I'll definitely be there. Off the Chest. Was it 29th of March? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, and your poem was incredible. I love that. Until clouds float under thighs, until I rise. It was absolutely beautiful. And big here's to self-pleasure. We all deserve pleasure. So thank you so much, Ella. Where can we find you other than Off the Chest, of course?
My Instagram handle is @EllaDG, and I have a website as well, and I'll post that in the chat. Thank you guys.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ella. Thanks for being here. So next up, I feel like we're flying through, but it's been absolutely incredible to hear everyone. We have the brilliant Anna. So Anna Shelton is a writer and teacher from South Cambridge who spent last year unemployed due to COVID, homeschooling her 3 sons and caring for her parents. This year, she has been teaching key worker children at a local primary school. She composed her first ever folk song whilst driving at Tesco during the first lockdown, which is being published this year in the Cambridge North Folk Songbook. So a big, warm welcome to Anna Shelton.
Weight loss. The last time I weighed this much, I was allowed, proud of my bump, not just a lump of excess fat people reached out to touch. Never asked, it didn't last. I think of the boxes, unworn clothes in the loft. Imagine the softness of her skin, dolls and dresses I'll never buy, eat a second slice of pie. Now my t-shirts ride up, boobs spill out of their cups, but there's nothing there. I would have loved to plait her hair. I'm empty inside. I still look pregnant from the side. I've stopped dreaming of her face, but there are times in certain places, like in Clark's, measuring my boy's feet for shoes, I see those Mary Janes and know I'd choose for her yellow patent. I pick one up, dare to let my fingers feel. My hand softly strokes the heel. To think her heart would have grown this long, why won't my heart move on? Ignore the empty space upon the shelf, a hole, a gap. I caress the dainty stitches, the buckle on the strap, cradle a dream, then gently place it back. My boy's pink clumpy trainers, black and green. I drive home ashamed, I never spoke her name. Wish I'd bought those honeysuckle shoes, no matter what the cost. To have something to hold when I remember the little girl I lost. And this last one, I wrote yesterday because of what's been happening this week. So hands up, ladies, if this is you. Not all men. To the man who followed me home from school aged 8, the stranger in a 3-wheeled van who offered me sweets to get in, to the grey-haired man on the bus when I was 11, who sat opposite me, trousers unzipped, gripping himself whilst grinning at me. I was a child. I was in school uniform. I was afraid. To the GP who examined me, then ran his hand down my newly learnt to shave leg and left it there while my mum was outside. To the babysitter who made my skin crawl. To the boy who tried to force me on the couch. When I said no, replied his girlfriend wouldn't mind. I trusted you. I barricaded my bedroom door. I climbed over the fence. To the boys who grabbed me as I danced carefree in clubs. To the friend who told my housemates he'd look after me, but took my clothes off after I passed out. To the boss who talked to my cleavage, not my face. I didn't wear makeup. I stopped going out. I smiled politely. To the man who spiked my drink inside a foreign bar. To the postgrad who told me he'd give me a good part in a play if I gave him head, but made me wear a monkey suit when I refused. To the man who touched me up at a festival. I was found on the bathroom floor. I was a virgin. I stopped wearing heels. To the shell-suited gang who surrounded me as I walked along the sunny spring towpath. To the men who groped me on the tube. To the man who grabbed me, then stalked me for 40 minutes when I escaped. I learnt jiu-jitsu. I carried mace in my pocket. I bought a car with central locking. To the doctor who gave me too many internal exams when I lay crying in the labour ward. To the white van lads who yelled disgusting slurs the first time I left the house after being attacked. To the policeman who asked, "How much have you had to drink?" when I reported an assault. I lied about the pain to go home. I wore men's clothes. I was sober. No, I was not the problem. No, there's no excuse. No, silence does not imply consent. No, it wasn't acceptable back then. No, it wasn't all you could have done. No, it's not good enough. No, it wasn't fun.
So I'm just trying to unmute myself there. Anna, thank you so much. That was really touching, and I'm probably going to find it hard to find words, but some of the words that you said that definitely spoke to me was, I got a car with central locking. Why the fuck do we need that these days? And no, silence does not imply consent. From loss and fertility to keeping women safe, and again to the bad men of middle fingers in the air. You spoke so much, and we could all relate to, so thank you so much, and you were absolutely incredible. Where can we find you to support you?
This is my first ever open mic, so I'm not really anywhere. But I am on Instagram at Anna Shelton Wright. So find me there, and hopefully in the future I'll be somewhere else.
To be honest, for your first open mic, blown away. That was incredible, like really, really incredible. So thank you so much for being here, and like hats off for you for being here on your first ever open mic. Thank you so much, Anna. Moving on to the wonderful Louise. Louise McStravick is a poet, writer and educator from Birmingham. Her first poetry collection, How to Make Curry Go, is out now with Fly on the Wall. We can't wait to hear this, Louise.
Thank you, and thanks for having me here. Yeah, I'm speechless after that last performance. So this one is called Cycles. You're never known to hide yourself. Red lipstick all over the town of me, bed sheets, ink blot, art, drip, drip, brightening toilet bowls. What are you to me? A wasted opportunity, like milk spilt next to the tea, instead of cradling bitter into smooth hope, mouldering onto my pants like yolks, bleeding out of cracked eggs. My womb, a fist. Each squeeze, a reminder of the sand timer of potential. At the very least, you are an inconvenience. Excuses at the dinner table. Of course you weren't invited, but with perfect human comic timing, present yourself mid-laugh. Or are you an expression of hope? The turning of life, inevitable as yesterday. My first lover thought I was cheating when I said no sex for 1 week a month. My friend told him it stinks, much to woman. Once at work, a boss decried he'd found the worst thing a man could find when he raised the toilet seat. Not feces, vomit, or a severed toe, but a blot of it. Me, blushing against the lip of the bowl. Lump of matter, sickening with its almost aliveness. Perhaps what he meant is that that which is good enough to begin a life deserves better than such an undignified end. It was a man who taught me how to lay a towel and let go of the edge. Let the current flow toward the heat of the ocean, floating on my back, hands digging into his, the tide bringing us in. Thank you.
Thank you, Louise. That was really incredible. I love the bit that this is the worst thing a man can find. They're still so shocked at the things they find from women, aren't they? Where can that was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Where can we support you and find you?
My Instagram is at hyperbole, which I've written on my name. I don't know if you can see it.
Don't worry, admin will post that as well. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. And I have a book out. It's called How to Make Curry Goat, and it's out with Fly on the Wall Press. But thank you so much for having me. It's been great.
Thank you so much, Louise. We loved having you here. Thank you.
Thank you.
So a huge, I'm a little bit speechless, huge thank you to all of our incredible open micers. What a night to remember, but this is not the end. And I'm sure some of you already know that. We are so excited to introduce our third special guest, but not the only special guest of the night, who recently tweeted that cleaning your vagina would be like cleaning your esophagus. Just don't do it. Hollie is a writer and poet extraordinaire whose works and performances have garnered critical acclaim. She has published 4 poetry collections: Papers, Cherry Pie, Plum and Slug, and other things I've been told to hate, which is launching this May and available to pre-order in all good online bookstores. She's also penned a play called Offside and written a poetic memoir called Nobody Told Me, for which you won the Ted Hughes Award for New Work in Poetry. She's performed worldwide alongside the likes of Kate Tempest and was the first poet to record at Abbey Road Studios. Hollie is a big fan of online accessibility, and her spoken word YouTube videos have attracted millions of views. We couldn't be more excited to have this poetry powerhouse join us at the Vagina Festival. A warm welcome to the absolutely incredible, I'm so excited to say this, Hollie McNish.
Oh, thank you. This has been an amazing evening. So before I start, I just want to say it's been amazing. I've been sitting here listening to the whole thing since 6:30 and it's so nice. And I was going to do like purely poems about like the vulva and vagina, which is not normally something I ever get the chance to do at gigs because it's normally, I don't know, a mixture of poems. So I wanted to do this very short poem to start off with. And it's called Angels, and it's just a poem that I wrote for all my friends. But I feel like all the shit that people go through, it's events like this that help so much, like myself included. Especially today, I got like a water bottle, open water bottle thrown at me by a group of guys in the park that I was in. And so it was very nice to be sitting here, just, yeah, surrounded by amazing poems and amazing stories and amazing people. So thanks. So this is called Angels, very short. For friends. There are angels all around me, clicking kettles, popping by. Angels who can listen, admit they cry when I cry. With hugs for hands, ears for wings, we chat through fears like angels sing. You may not see your halos, but please know, to me, you're everything. Right, now I'm gonna move on and read. So yeah, that's for everyone here. It's just so lovely to be invited. So thank you. I'm going to read a few poems from Slug, and I hope you enjoy them. So this is a bit longer, and it's called "When I Am Dead, Will You Finally Shut the Fuck Up?" And it's a poem that I wrote after somebody gave me the Britney Spears album that I used to listen to all the time, which had "Hit Me Baby" on it, which I remember lots of the men in my family saying that the video was like this incredible artistic thing. And I saw it, and I was a schoolgirl at the time, and I just thought, I mean, I danced to that song a lot, but I was not finding it as amazing as all the men in my family seemed to find it. So yeah. When I was a teenage girl, the newspapers printed stories about monsters they called paedophiles. When I was a teenage girl, a special assembly was called, which told us all to watch out for a man flashing his penis in the park near the school. We all thought it was funny, walked there especially, looked out for the long coat pointed with our friends. When I was a teenage girl, one newspaper printed a list of home addresses of people they called paedophiles, vigilante justice, and one count of linguistic ignorance, graffitiing the walls of a paediatrician's home. When I was a teenage girl, I bought a top 10 record by another teenage girl dancing in school uniform like mine. She sang "Hit Me Baby" one more time. I sang "Hit Me Baby" one more time, not wondering whether the clever chorus line referred to punching or being fucked hard or replaying a record. When I was a teenage girl, my friend was called a slag for owning a vibrator. When I was a teenage girl, my friend was called a prude for not getting fingered. When I was a teenage girl, the front cover of this album had Britney Spears in pigtails, looking up at a camera, as virgin as could be. I did not wonder who directed it. When I was a teenage girl, my friend told everyone he had fingered me in the garden at a house party that weekend, when really he was crying about a problem in his family. He apologized at school. I agreed not to tell the truth. We stayed close friends. When I was a teenage girl, I opened the CD in my bedroom, a poster folded up inside to put up on my wall. It had Britney, dressed in a virgin white vest top with virgin white teeth, sat astride a chair, legs parted from the camera zoomed onto her schoolgirl crotch. When I was a teenage girl, I was told not to use a tampon when I was bleeding playing sport, because that would be like losing my virginity to a tampon before I'd had a dick in me. I was told not to put a dick in me. I was told the only sex that counted was sex with a dick in me. When I was a teenage girl, two teenage girls in a Russian pop video were directed to snog each other in school uniform like mine, looking sexy at the camera, singing all the things she said, running through my head. When I was a teenage girl, I was told off for wearing a skirt too short for school. I rolled it down each lesson and rolled it up each break. When I was a teenage girl, I was told I could not play in the tennis team unless I wore the match kit. Match kit was a short white skirt. I was on my period. I did not use a tampon yet because that would be like ruining my pussy before I'd had a dick in me. Sanitary towels leaked a lot. I learned how to check for bloodstains between backhand shots. When I was a teenage girl, I was told not to risk the shortcut, not to walk alone. I was told not to stay out late. I was told not to masturbate. I was told not to get pregnant. I was told not to get fingered. I was told not to be too sexy. I was told not to not be sexy. I was told to sing, hit me, baby, hit me, baby, one more time in school uniform like hers. I was told all the things she said, running through my head. When I was in my 20s, I fed my baby in the toilet. For fear of looking like I was sort of trying to look sexy. I'm still not sure exactly why I was embarrassed to feed a baby with my body, but I was. When I was 30, my friend organised a Botox party before we went on holiday because apparently when you are 30, laughter is less attractive. When I was 35, I was told not to wear a vest top because women my age do not show our arms now for fear of bats apparently landing on the skin below. When I was 40, I was told my sex drive would dry up with my bleeding, but nobody talks about the menopause. When I was 50, I was told. When I was 60, when I was 70, when I was 80, I was told, I'm hoping this will stop. But my grandma is 92 and she is on a diet because in our family, as I've been told my entire life long, the women in our family have bad stomachs. Hold it in, Hollie. Hold it in, Hollie. Hold it in, Hollie. When I'm dead, I'm hoping I can stretch out in my coffin, silence in my bones. Right. I'll move on to a few, a few more celebratory ones. Well, I'll do this one first. So this is called The Morning After, and it's a much shorter poem. But I really hate the term losing your virginity. I really think we should stop using it to young people. I hate it. And I think I've been told for people whose first time, which basically means first penetration, doesn't it? Doesn't mean first orgasm or first time masturbating or anything. It's just about penetration, which is crap. If it's been unconsensual, then it's so crap, this losing your virginity phrase, as if just that act makes you go from pure to unpure. So this is called The Morning After. I stared into the mirror, searching for the change, counted all my freckles, every one of them in place. I counted every hair, every eyelash, every brow, 5 knuckles on each hand still, 31 teeth in my mouth. I cut open my flesh, counted 7 layers deep. For a minute, held my heart, counted 80 solid beats. Lips still as pure as blood. I spat into the sink, walked into the world again. I had not lost a thing. Right, I'm going to move on to masturbation and then just finish on a couple of other ones. So yeah, thanks for having me again, and thanks for listening, and thanks for everyone that read the poems. It's been such a beautiful night. This is called Magician. Just a short one after my daughter asked me what masturbation was, because I kept talking about it and we had a conversation about it. So I tried to write a poem to explain it. Girl, when you are able, you will strike a fire inside your skin. Your fingertip magicians, if allowed, if not condemned as sin, will work out every sleight of hand, each stroke of luck, each nuanced pause, till flames inside your flesh gasp like rapturous applause. And then another poem about wanking, basically. I used to think it was much more rubbish to have a vulva than it was to have a penis. I think I fell for sort of Freud's penis envy theories because it just seemed more simple, the way that they orgasm and masturbate and stuff, and I didn't really get how to do it with my anatomy. But the more I have learned and practiced, I now think it's so cool that I can sort of walk around really horny and have no erection and no one can see. And there's so much good stuff about vulvas and vaginas, obviously. But this poem's called 50 Ways to Wank. Just because talking to my friends, I realised loads of people with vulvas and vaginas were sort of worried about how to do it or whether they did it right or weirdly. And I was reading a book called The Height Report about all the different ways that people do it and how some have to have the legs open, some closed, some whatever. Also gave me lots of ideas for new techniques. So it was a very good book. So yeah, this is 50 Ways to Wank. And then I think I've got time for just a couple more. Pick up the wankers. 50 ways to wank. Silent as study, as a library as death, loud as a lock-in, as a birth pool, as protest, paced as a snail, naked as a slug, expectant as a prayer, heartening as a hug, frantic as a hummingbird pivoting its shoulders, wings chasing the time, trees blurred from train windows. A moth battles a light bulb, a fire spreads through thirsty crops, fleeting as a lifetime, from a deathbed as a snowdrop. Panda on bamboo slow, koala eucalyptus, lazy as a sloth, undecided as forgiveness, with one finger or two fingers or three fingers, and turn around with a finger in, with a dildo in, with a penis in, and touch the ground, with your knickers on, with your knickers off, with your knickers half and half, with legs parted for the bubbled spouts of a jacuzzi bath, with a shower head beneath a flowing tap, with your friend's electric toothbrush, with an aubergine, a wash machine, the wheel seat of a bus, with a pillow, with a cushion, dry humping or wet, on a chair edge, on a cliff edge, on a table edge by accident, with legs crossed like bladder bursts, thighs clenched for extra friction, with legs wide as smear tests, toes pointing to oblivion, in circles, in stripes, in zigzags, in all of them, with a vibe on a low speed or a high speed or a medium, with lube or without lube, on your front or your back, with your breasts squashed to the radiator, with your nipples dipped in molten wax, with a rubbing, stroking, patting, pinching, pushing, prodding, press. 50 ways to wank, each one of them correct. All right. Okay. I'll do this one, and then a tiny short poem about how hard my gran found it to say the word vulva, and how it's taken 4 generations in our family to actually have my daughter say it. This is called Contraband, and it's just about that trick that I was taught to always hide my tampons and sanitary towels up my sleeve, like you were talking about at the beginning, and all sorts to explore. Yeah, I've tried different methods after reading that book. So yeah, this is just about that kind of hiding of sanitary products that I've done for most of my life, as if I should be ashamed of my body. It's not the blood that bothers me most. I've never been too bothered by blood. Never one to hold up my hand in dissection class, asked to sit out when the lamb's hearts were placed in bags next to tabletop scalpels, and Chris stuck his finger right up the aorta, and we all laughed, and Joanna threw up. It's not the blood that bothers me most. It's not holding the tampon string up while I wee that bothers me either. Not blood dripping into the shower, bath mat sparkling red as I step from the water, not pants, more pants dashed in the dustbin when wings do not stick, not worrying at work about leaking in meetings running over and over, not my professor insisting I sit on his sofa in each supervision, pausing to check if I'm listening, when all I am thinking is, this sofa is expensive and white. This sofa is expensive and white. It's not the cramping of thighs, as if my muscles are punching a path through my skin the way my mother's did too. It's not continuing to smile as my insides implode, as if my body does not own a womb, which bothers me most. No, it's sneaking the products, contraband, carefully cradled up sleeve, the way my grandmother taught me to smuggle past granddad, dad, my brother, every boyfriend I've had, every colleague at work, every train passenger I brush past on the train, every person I pass on my way to the loo, as if carrying a bomb, sure to go off if anyone sees. Right, and this is the last. Thanks very much for having me. In fact, just what you were saying, I wrote this very quick note called Vulva, which reads, saying vagina when you mean vulva is like saying throat when you mean mouth. Just to remind myself which part is which. But yeah, so this is also called vulva because I've been trying to make myself say that word as if these 5 letters are so bloody difficult to say. It's so ridiculous how much I've had in my head that this is not a word that I can use. So I've written loads of poems about it. But yeah, this is vulva and this is the last one. So thank you so much for having me. And it's really been such a lovely evening. I'm really glad my daughter had a meeting on Zoom with a friend so I could listen to the rest of the night. Vulva. My granny will not say that word or name that place on pain of hell. My mother is a nurse, but finds it terrible to say as well. I forced it for my daughter, but stuttered Volvo for at least 2 years. My daughter, dancing naked, sings it jokingly for all to hear. No idea the length of time this took. Thank you very much for having me. And it's a shame that we're not in person.
It's such a shame. Thank you so much, Hollie. That was absolutely incredible. I can't wait to have my copy of Slug. Like, I'm so excited.
Thanks for cheers to everyone.
Yeah, I was also taught that sex was just a dick in me. And shout out to Vulvas. I was loving your like keep going to the Vulvas. So thank you so much, Hollie. That was absolutely amazing. Right. So just wow, really. I think you can tell that.
Wait, 1 minute. We need her to plug her work. We need her to plug her work.
Hollie, sorry. Please tell us where to find you. I'm sure we all know, but please tell us where to find you. Any links that we can go to, any plugs.
I just started eating an ice cube, sorry. I thought I was on mute.
Because Emilie appeared on the screen and I was like, okay.
I rudely
That's all right.
interrupted.
I'd forgotten anyway. If you go to Hollie with an IE, because I'm named after a 1960s pop group, Hollie Poetry, everywhere on any social media, I mean, and then yeah, that's it really. So just come and say hello. And the books I read from was Slug, most of them. I don't know if you can see it, but that's out in May, and then the other one was Plum. That's it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Hollie.